and values. So those are the characters that a professional teacher should possess. Next, teachers as professionals. So the certificated teacher is the essential element in the delivery of instruction to students regardless of the mode of instruction. Certificated teacher. What do you mean when you say certificated teacher? To licensed teacher. Diba? Muna sila ang certificated teacher. There is already a certification that they pass the licensure examination and they possess the good behavior and can and are already qualified. Those teachers are already qualified to teach in the secondary or in the elementary. Depende kung secondary ba sila nga teachers or elementary ba sila. Next, teachers as professionals. A teacher has professional knowledge and skills gained through formal preparation and experience. Diba? So, there's a saying that says, the best teacher is our experience. Diba? Experience, and the teacher has professional knowledge and skills gained through formal preparation and experience. So, diba? In college, pila gani mo katuig ay makagraduate 4 years, right? With 2 or 3 summers. And then right after that, you have to undergo what we call the practice teaching. So those are the formal preparation and experience that you have had before you will graduate in your profession, di ba? So, a teacher has professional knowledge and skills gained through formal preparation and experience. So, when in the field teaching the children during your practicum, so you can gain experience. Mo dahil mahimong teacher. It's not easy man dahil mahimong teacher. Diba? There are many things to be considered. Number one is your patience, your attention. So, I am a student before. Is it really your choice to come this course education? There are those who answer, yes, ma'am, it is really, but there are also who answered, ma'am, it's the choice of my mother and father because they are also educators. And I asked that particular student, and then, are you happy taking course? Na dili man nimo choice na lang, ma'am. Agok taasin lang. Kaya nga naman, dili man na nimo nga, you don't have any passion in it. Kaya man choice. Nga kung ikaw akong patpilion. Gusto man ta akong mag-nursing, pero pili man ka afford akong parents mag-nursing, ma'am. Kay mahal man ko ang nursing nga course. So, ipa-teacher na lang ko nila parehas sa ilaha. Ipa-teacher na lang. Diba? Sakit kay minawon kag ipa-teacher na lang. So, teachers as professionals, unsa man, kinahanglan kay naagid tayo knowledge and skills gained through formal preparation and experience. But I think when you are already, even if that is not your choice, eventually you will love your profession. Diba? When you become a professional teachers, you will learn to love your profession, especially when you are already in the field teaching your own students. That is always a first time ra mahadlok. Laba, di ba na ko ganihan ako. So, niya karon nag-eskwela ko ani, unsa may tabo sa ako ani ba? But later on, magkawat na dahil magiging teacher, diba? Especially kung makita na mo, you can already experience bitaw na nagtudlo ka sa mga bata, and then the students learn from you. Ano sila nakakatula sa imo, especially those students nga in the elementary, kanang dili bitaw kabalo pa mo basa, non-readers sila, and then ipaningkamutan gyud tudlo nga using all the strategies, teaching reading, and then nakatuon ang bata nakabasa, Diba? There is what? Self-fulfillment. Malipay ka. Wow, thank you, Lord. Napabasa na po ang 5 ka bata nga dili mabasa. And during sa akong time, makabasa sila. And that is a success. Makayon ko, Lord. Makatulog na nga. Nakayang. Kaya naman. Ato mang na tudluan ang atong mga kabataan nga nakabasa sila. So, success gid siya. Palayon ta. And we are motivated to what? Work hard. More. Pagyod nga, taning kamot nga matudluan ni mga bata. So, a teacher has professional knowledge and skills gained through formal preparation and experience. So, we can learn from our experience. Sige tagtulo. Primero pagyod, this is my experience before when I was new fight. I passed the licensure examination and we are hired in DepEd as a substitute teacher of one of the schools here in Valencia City. And then I was assigned in a barangay school. Pagsulod na ko sa class grade, ano man kasaba ang mga bata, grade 4. So, unsaon ko kani, how could I manage these children? So, mangutanahan sa mga karaan ng mga teachers, inana kita dapat kanang kabalo ta mangutana, ayaw pagpataas sa imong garbo nga kabalo na gid ka tanan ha. So you should consult ang katong nakauna pa sa imo ha, ma'am. Naligi ko yung mga bata, mga students ngayon ani sila behavior, so dapat sino ginabuhat sa inyo, ma'am, something like that, di ba? So don't hesitate to ask questions sa mga nakauna na sa imo ha. Bisan pag naa tay experience, lahi ra gyud to mangutana patas sa naka-experience pa labaw sa atua, di ba? So you have that professional knowledge already because you graduated from your course, and then you gain skills through formal preparation during your practicum SEM, and you not only gaining formal preparation but naka-experience na ka nag-handle sa mga bata. And then, teachers provide personal, caring service to students by diagnosing their needs and by planning, selecting, and using methods and evaluation procedures designed to promote learning. So, teachers provide personal, caring, service to students. So what do you mean by this? Teachers provide personal, caring service to students by diagnosing their needs and by planning, selecting, and using methods and evaluation procedures designed to promote learning. For example, you notice that one of your students, kana bitaw maghilom-hilom lang, magpadaktin lang yun siya. Tawagon nimo, magdungo lang, ana bitaw, na may inana nga unique ng mga personality sa mga bata, sa mga students. So may dapat natubuhaton ana. Teachers must provide personal and caring service to students. Langga o ano man ka nga nagpadapkin naman ka din ha, di ba? So ipakita nimo nga naga-care ka sa iya ha. Unsa may mahitabuan nga bata, ma-motivated na siyang bata, ay di ko mahadlok ani kay teacher kay buutan man di ay siya, something like that, di ba? Buutan man di ay siya. So kanang kampante ang bata sa imo, dili bitaw ka nga strict ra ka imong dating labi na sa elementary, kuyaw kaya. Okay lang sa high school if you're a secondary teacher. But in the bisan gani sa high school. But in the elementary dapat naagid kay gamiton nga unsa man. Puyok-puyok method. Meaning to say nga ayaw kayo sige pangasaba. Know your students. Know your students first. Amiguha sila para mailhan nimo sila. Once mailhan na nimo sila, kabalo na ka model sa ilaha, di ba? So, what is one way of diagnosing their needs? One way of diagnosing their needs is that to communicate with them. Paagi lagi istorya lang ga, ani ka gauli, pila din mo kaigsuon sa inyong balay. Yung sa di trabaho sa imong mama, yung sa di trabaho sa imong papa. O, masulti na din naman. Wala may trabaho akong mama, may trabaho akong papa, galisod ba sa kanimalay. Ako, sige gani ko bunalan, something like that, di ba? So, muna siya. Ang mahitabo dayon. And then, Mailahan na dahil nimo ang bata, ang inani dahil siya. That is why this child is behaving this way kay siya's problem. Ato asa dito silang kinitoy na sila sa kuan kuno sa wa sila linungan. Nasa nasulit na ligo. Ato asa. Okay, by diagnosing their needs. Unsa man ma-diagnose nimo ilang needs by asking them questions amiguha sila and by planning. Planuhan nimo siya unsa na ko ni ba nga makapenetrate ko ani nga bata, unsa dapat nako buhaton. Nagi bata nga quarrelsome, siguro sa ilang panimalay, sige sa bunalan siyang mama because I encountered that kind of student. Ano nga pala away man kay kaanak. Uy, ano siguro makagpangaway. Nya, unsa man day gabuhaton sa imong mama sa inyo? Ma'am, pag makasala taw ko ma'am, kay kanang bunalan din pipiun din ang akong kamot, inana gani bunalan ko ibitay ko sa akong papa. O inana. So, tungod kay inana siya daan sa ilang panimalay, nag-need na siya og somebody to understand and to love him or her. So, pati pag-abot sa school, tungod kay badlungon siya, kay, murag na ano na ba, kanang naanda na lang bitaw niya, nga, there are students mga good who are making a trick to catch up your attention, especially the elementary ng mga bata. They are always making a trick to catch up your attention para mabali-bali kanila, maano kanila, gani ka na matagad nimo sila. So pinaagi usay sa pagpabadlong nila hala manguhit, unsa nalay buhaton nila sa ilahang mga classmates para mapansin nimo sila. So aya po diretso ka sabi. Langgaan si makagdagan-dagan, unsa man mo problema? Something like that, di ba? So, you are already diagnosing their needs and you are also planning at the same time sa akong dapat buhaton to deal this kind of attitude sa mga bata. Selecting and using methods. So, unsa man nga mga pamaagi, strategies in teaching that you have to employ. Oh, ano siya dito? Sige ko ito, maglungag sila dito. Kaya sila kaniunto pa. Using methods and evaluation procedures designed to promote learning. So by that, makuha na nimo naana kay mga strategies or methods and evaluation procedures and na design to promote learning, di ba? So to promote learning, i-evaluate gini mo na siya ng mga procedures nga imong magamit, di ba? Para sa ilaha. In order for the students to have the learning. Kung na sila, di ba, during the time na magklase na tamag, we have our new lesson. That is formal instruction already. Then right after the formal instruction, we have what we call the evaluation or the assessment. In order for us to measure the needs of our... So, nakapagpus anak naman na diha, oh. Excuse lang kadyo taong sa man, eh. Mawala, masadaan niyo, eh. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Dito na ko si teachers as professionals. The process of teaching includes understanding and adhering to legal legislated frameworks and policies, identifying and responding to the students' learning needs, providing effective and responsive instruction, assessing and communicating students' learning, developing the main and maintaining a safe, respectful environment conducive to student learning, and establishing and maintaining professional relationship and engaging in reflective professional practice. What does this mean? Teachers as professionals, the process of teaching includes understanding and adhering to legal, legislative frameworks and policies. So in DepEd, we have our legal, legislated frameworks and policies, di taga buot-buot, di ba? Even sa atong curriculum, our curriculum is centralized. Dili lang diri sa ato, but all throughout the country. Naatay ginasunod nga curriculum, for example. That is an example of legal, legislated frameworks and policies. identifying and responding to students' learning needs. So, how do we identify and responding to the students' learning needs? So, we are aware nowadays that after the pandemic, after gani sa pandemic kung sa'yo nahitabo, ang problema sa eskwelahan, the problem that the schools are facing not only in the private but also in the public schools is the problem of non-readers. Nga naman nga non-readers because almost 3 years that module lang ang ginagamit sa mga teacher to yun lang talaga ang ginagamit ng mga teachers as their instructional modality. Wala pang face-to-face noon, di ba? Because of that pandemic. And then what had happened? There are lots of students right after implementing again the face-to-face modality. Unsay nahitabo, daghan jud kay mga bata nga dili ka basa. And for example, if the students are the learners are now in grade 3, ang ilang learning level ana is naa pa sa grade 1. Why? Almost 3 years baya sila nga walay face-to-face. Kung miingon lang kag module, good for those parents who are also striving hard to help their children in their schooling. Yeah, what if the parents have no patience in helping their kids sa ilang ginahimo para mahuman ang sige pangutana ang mga bata ako na answer ana imong module nang sa nahitabo syempre ang nag-answer sa module ang mommy or ang daddy unsay mahitabo dayon naggo kay sila score nya na by learning sa bata wala di ba so identifying and responding to students learning needs so we as teachers, you as teachers in the future, you should identify and respond to the student learning needs. Unsa may needs sa mga bata. For example, their problem, number one problem is the non-readers, di gid kabasa. So unsa may dapat nato bahaton as teachers? Number one that we should do is to teach them how to read because it is very useless for us to follow the curriculum without unsa man teaching them to read. San pag unsa na dinha ang mga naamang tay gina follow gyud sa atong mga lessons, di ba? Namo ni sa first grading, maura ni siya nga coverage gyud, sa second grading, maura po ni siya nga coverage. What if nahuman gyud nimo ang para sa first quarter nga lesson? And yet, ang mga bata dili man gyapon kabasa. Is there learning? Na ba kay learning adto? Wala. So you have to go back to the basic. Unsa may dapat buhaton first? Teach them how to read first. Kaya nga naman, if you will teach them how to read, makabasa na ang bata, sayo na dayon ang unsa man. Pagtudlo sa lesson kay tuloy-tuloy na yan. But pag hindi pa marunong bumasa ang bata, we as teacher must teach them first how to read because it is a sad reality that even grade 6 nowadays na agani high school. When I visited one of the schools here in District 8, kay District 8 man ako ang assignment, wow. I was so sad because out of 10 students in grade 8 gipabasa namo daghan jud kayo ang dili kabasa. And that is already the product of unsa man sa pandemic, during sa pandemic na module. So di pa kabasa and then di pa kabasa ang bata nya gitagaan nimo daghan kaayo nga mga lisod nga lesson unsa may mahitabo dili gyud wala. So you should first what? Respond to the students' learning needs. If their needs is reading, kaya di pa sila kabalo mo basa, pabasahon sa daan. Tudluan sa basa, ay dayon mo padayon sa lesson. Providing effective and responsive instruction. So, we should provide the effective and responsive instruction. Atong unsa man. Sa may dapat nakuhaton ani. Providing effective man. So, we will try to see kung sa gid ang need sa bata. For example, when you're handling grade 3 and you want to know their reading level at the beginning of the school year, the opening of classes, what will you do with the students or the learners? First is you have to have the diagnostic test in reading for you to have the baseline data. Amo gid ni sila. Out of 40 pupils I have, there are 25 of them who are slow readers. So, naana kay baseline data. What will you do with that 25 who are slow readers? So you have to apply enhancement activities, di ba, in reading. And for those 25 also who are already what we call considered as fast learners, so you will also give them an enhancement activities para madugangan pa og mosamot og ka-improve ang ilahang learning, di ba? Providing effective and responsive instruction, assessing and communicating students' learning. Okay, for example, the child is slow in reading. Low siya sa reading. And then, tungod kay low man siya sa reading, pag mo siya ginatudluan and wala pag mo gi-inform ang parents on what to do. Unsa may dapat nako ani buhaton imong ipatawag or imuhang istoryahan, sulatan nimo ang mama, i-invite nimo or papa nga moadto sa eskwelahan for you also to tell the parents nga I have a problem with your son. Inani ang imong son, ma'am, pwede ba nga matabangan ko ninyo? Inana pag-follow up lang sa iya ha, di ba? Sa iyang learning kay mura galisod gid ko ma'am, galisod ko, something like that, di ba? So inana ang atong buhaton. Then naman ko adto. Uy. Okay. So assessing and communicating students' learning, developing and maintaining a safe, respectful environment. So inside the classroom, we should always check if our classroom is safe. Dili ba siya dangerous para sa mga kabataan. So before classes starts, dapat ready na ang atong mga classroom for unsa man our opening of classes. That is why we have what we call the Brigada Eskwela in order to prepare the classrooms and the entire school na maging safety siya for all the learners, respectful environment and conducive to student learning. So we will try to check everything, the environment, the school, particularly limpyo na ba siya, free na ba ta sa mga snakes, bako kung magdula ang atong mga bata, ana, di ba? Anyway, that is already the responsibility of the principal and the teachers assigned in that particular school. All the parents do is to help to prepare the schools to become an unsa man respectful environment and conducive to student learning, because there are classrooms that is not conducive to learning. Example of that is nang igang kayong classroom nya close kay murag walay bintana, murag dili ka ginhawa bitaw ang bata nga naa sa sulod. Di ba? That is why nowadays the supervisors and even the superintendents discourage the teachers to put on kurtina ka mga curtains bitaw sa window, ginapa-discourage na siya. Kaya nga naman, para lusot-lusot lang yun ang hangin. Di ba? Para lusot-lusot ang hangin. So, di-discourage na sila. And even the color sa kanang classroom bitaw na to usahay, kay murag baylihan na yun. Ang uban kay nanubra na bitaw ang ilang gipang structure sa ilang classroom. So, gina-discourage na siya karon. Dapat plain lang. Kita lang nimo ang lesson nimo dinha, unsay imong lesson, pila ka subjects karon nga adlaw mo na inyong mga lesson, diyan na dapat imuta sa bulletin board inside the classroom. And then curtains are also, kanang remove sa amo ng time karon dili na gid mi ipakortina kay ngano man. Relationship and engaging in reflective professional practice. What does it mean? So since you are professionals, we have to deal we have to have a good relationship with other people, our colleagues, our co-teachers, and our school heads, for example, and then the parents, and even the students. Unsa man gyud ang standard of practice for teaching profession. Number one here is commitment to students and student learning. Okay, what do you mean when you say commitment? Unsa man na siya? What is commitment? Ang imuhag yung unsa man? Ang imuhang total nga kinasing-kasing gyud nga unsa man pagtudlo. Committed ka, di ba? Committed ka to students and student learning. So since we are future teacher, dapat committed ka in all the things that we do, especially inside the classroom. Dapat dili ta unsay tawag ani kana bitang magbagdibagdoy bisag asa ta mo padulong kay dili kay ta committed sa atong kuan basta murag relax lang bahala mo din ha, di ba? Amo mga bata kung dili mo maminaw, kung dili mo magkuan kay teacher, o di ko maalkansi kay ako na ako'y sweldo nana ra ba dayon ang language sa ka teacher. Murag dili lang kung dili gani ang bata ganahan maminaw, i-ignore lang pud niya. If you're a committed teacher to your students, dapat sensitive kag unsay need sa imuhang bata, sa imong estudyante, and to their student learning. Kinahanglan you see to it that at the end of the day, the students has learned many things from your teaching. Nga naag gid say nakatunan kay kumitado gid ka, imo gyung gigugol ang tibuok nimo nga oras gikan sa alas 7 sa buntag paingon sa 7:30 sa buntag paingon sa alas 5 sa hapon. Committed ka sa pagtudlo sa imuhang mga kabataan. Committed ka ug sensitibo ka kung nakatuon ba imong mga estudyante ug wala. Dili kay bahala mo wala mo nakasabot. Basta kay nagtudlo na ko sa inyo kung dili mo makasabot problema na ninyo. Inanarbo sa ang language sa teacher basta gikapoy na siya tudlo, di ba? Nya ang mga bata dili maminaw. So, tungod kay committed man ka, you have to set your standard. Unsa man imong standard nga dapat ipalo, unsa nga balaod ang dapat nimo ipasunod sa imong mga bata. Unsa man ang dapat nimo ipasunod sa ilaha nga kinahanglan maminaw mo walay ang discussing the lesson kay gusto nako nga pag at the end of the day unsa man naamoy na sabtan sa atong lesson. So there will be learning. Malipay ka kung ang bata nakatuon, di ba? Malipay ka ita na rabi nag-bright ang ato ang mga estudyante naagani mga exam top sila ganahan gid ka ita na malipay ta kay nganuman committed man ta sa ilahang ato nga mga estudyante ug sa ilahang learning. Next to commitment is unsa gani sunod? Leadership in learning community. So in a learning community, for example, what school or what community are you in or naa ka dinha nga eskwelahan, for example, na-assign ka sa Valencia City Central School. Unsa may dapat nato buhaton nga naa man ta dinha sa Valencia City Central School. So leadership in learning communities, dili lang gyud nga unsa man diha ra gyud ka sa school na involved, but you are involved in that particular community. So unsa may dapat nato buhaton, matabang ta mo cooperate ta kung unsa man need, kung need ka sa atong community, di ba? For example, they're celebrating araw, for example. Since you belong to that community, kaya diha ka gatudlo, dapat nga unsa man makig-involve ka diha. Kaya imong leadership dili lang mag-end din na sa imuhang four corners of your room, but dito gihapon apil sa community where you belong. You have that professional knowledge, di ba? Train man ka. Kaya nahimo naman ka nga teacher or professional teacher ka naman. So, you have that professional knowledge. That is, you possess professional knowledge so that you can have that standards of practice. Kaya di man ta maka-practice sa atuang profession kon dili ta we don't possess professional knowledge. Dapat nagid kay knowledge professionally. Professional practice, so di ba? Professional practice when you are already assigned as a classroom teacher. So you can already experience that professional practice. Kaya imo namang na-practice ang imong profession, di ba? If you are a teacher, so you have to teach. For example, you are an elementary classroom teacher, dito ka magtudlo sa elementary, kay elementary man ang imuhang di eskwelahan. But if you will be taking secondary English major ka, secondary teacher English major, so what will you teach? Also, you will also teach unsa man English, kay mo man na siya ang imuhang major. Kung Filipino major ka, so you have to teach Filipino subjects in the secondary level. Pero kay sa elementary, generalist man ta, wala man tayo major na subject, so we can teach unsa man any subjects in the elementary grade. In the elementary grades, we can teach all the subjects. But if you're a secondary teacher and then your major is English, all you have to do is you will be assigned to teach in the secondary English class, English subject, something like that. Then, outgoing professional learning. So, unsa man ang outgoing professional learning? So, from professional practice, outgoing professional learning. So, sa kadugayan na nimo nga sige practice sa imong profession, maano na nimo siya, ma-master na nimo tanan, di ba? Ang mga professional learning nimo na outgo na nimo. Then, commitment to students or student learning. So, those are the standards of practice. Commitment of students and student learning, leadership in learning communities, professional knowledge, professional practice, outgoing professional learning. Diba kadugayan murag ma-memorize na gani nato ang books nga ginatudlo, di ba? You will experience that when you will become a classroom teacher in the future. For example, in the elementary, kung nagtudlo ka og araling panlipunan, halos gikan sa unit 1 paingon sa last, murag ma-memorize na nato kung kada tuig mo na atong ginatudlo, di ba? Even in science and in English, MTB, MLA nga subject, murag ma-memorize na nimo kadugayan, ka naka-outgo naman ka nga professional learning nimo. Tungod kay dugay naman ka nga gatudlo. Okay. Ako retirable na gid ko ay maana ka for example. I am already a retirable. Memorize ko na tanan din na mga libro nga akong ginatudlo. Without I can already teach without even using my textbook. Kay ngano man memorize na nimo o naka-outgo na ka. Commitment to students and student learning. So teachers are dedicated in their care, di ba mo na ganyan sa commitment. Una-una na nako og explain. Teachers are dedicated in their care and commitment to students. Dedicated ko, commitment means dedicated ka in your care and commitment to students. diba? Kaya nga naman, you want all your students to learn. So, tungkol kay committed ka, dedicated ka to care for their learnings, you treat student equitably and with respect and are sensitive to factors that influence individual student learning. So, i-treat nato ang atong mga estudyante nga unsa man akong kaugalingon nga mga anak equitably and with respect and are sensitive to what factors that influence individual student learning. So in ana lang gid ka nang sensitive ta unsa ilang mga needs. As what I have told you a while ago, we have to be sensitive to their needs. We have to listen to their needs, diba? Because we can observe that ang mga students na to lahi-lahi na silang behavior because they are very different unsa man practices at home. Lahi-lahi man ang atong mga culture sa atong panimalay, diba? San mga Pilipino tatanan, but inside our home, lahi-lahi tag mga practices, customs, and unsa man culture. Lahi-lahi kita. So, dapat i-respect nato ang ilahang unsa tawag ani mga practices nila sa ilahang panimalay. Even the religious affiliation, because I could still remember one time before when I was still new in the service, I have a student nga during sa flag ceremony, dili siya gusto mag-appeal, but our principal insisted nga kinahanglan mo appeal gud ka kay dili man ka ga eskwela so mag-appeal ka sa flag ceremony, but dili siya ga respect sa flag. If that particular student will not respect the flag kay mo na sa ilahang religious affiliation, ay na pong hinabti, di ba? We should respect also and be sensitive to unsa man the factors that influence individuals student learning. Ayun na hilabti. Irespeto siya kay mo man ang ilahang practice sa ilang panimalay because of their religious affiliation. They facilitate the development of students as contributing citizens of the society. So we are the ones we as teachers contributed much to unsa man molding our students to become a good citizens in our society. So kita gyud ang example kanunay nga makita sa atong mga kabataan. So we must be very careful teachers. Kamo nga mga future teachers, you must be very careful nga makita sa inyong mga estudyante kadtong maayo gyud nga unsa man mga gawi. Committed ka, dedicated ka sa imong services o sa imong work. Next is leadership in learning communities. Okay. So this is one of the standards, di ba? Teachers can participate in the creation of collaborative, safe, and supportive learning communities. So, mo collaborate ta, unsa man, mo support ta, sa unsa man safe and supportive learning communities. So we must be involved. We will involve ourselves. We will participate in the creation of collaborative, safe, and supportive learning communities. They recognize their shared responsibilities and leadership roles in facilitating student success. So they maintain and uphold the principles of the ethical standards in these learning communities. For example, you will be assigned in an IP community. Diba? IP community, indigenous people. So, naana sila yung mga ethical standards nga gina-follow, just like us, diba? So, we have to respect. Irespeto nato ang ilahang mga unsaman practices. Kaya nga naman, it is but our obligation to maintain and uphold the principles of the ethical standards in these learning communities. So whatever things that you can observe sa ilaha, observe lang. No comment. You will dili ka manaway. Kay once manaway ka, lisod na. Di ba? Basig masala pa ta. Professional knowledge. When we talk of professional knowledge, teachers strive to be current in their professional knowledge and recognize its relationship to practice. What do you mean when we say strive to be current in their professional knowledge? Meaning to say, we will strive hard as teachers to update o kinahanglan updated ta kanunay sa atuang man, knowledge, professional knowledge, and recognize its relationship to practice. O maani karon. That is why there are many teachers who are sent to what? Trainings. So that they can strive to be current in their professional knowledge. So, ma-updated sila sa mga current nga unsa man. As strategies in teaching their students. Current in their professional knowledge and recognize its relationship to practice. Ma-recognize ang ilahang relationship, then may practice nila. They understand and reflect on students' development. So masabtan nila o maka-reflect sila on students' development learning theory. Unsa man ang mga learning theory nga dapat nila mahibalaan. So dapat updated ang teacher ana. Pedagogy or the methods of teaching, the curriculum, the ethics and the educational research and related policies and legislation to inform professional judgment in practice. So dapat unsa daw ta, we have to strive to be current in our professional knowledge. So kana siya. Next is professional practice. Teachers apply professional knowledge and experience to promote student learning. Unsa man, what do you mean when we say apply our professional knowledge and experience to promote student learning? So you are trained to teach, di ba? During your OGT, gitudloan mo, inani ang pagtudlo. So that is why, if you are assigned in grade 1, ibalihin na po kasunod semana sa grade 2, hangtod makumpleto nimo. So good ka sa kinder, if possible, mahuman gid mo ng kinder, maka-teach ka sa kinder, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, paingon sa grade 6, aya ka mahuman sa imong practicum. Why? So that you can apply whatever grade you will be assigned, maka-adjust na ka and you have that knowledge already and experience na makuan nimo nga ay nakaagi naman ko sa akong practicum, gi-assign ko ni sir og 3 days dito sa grade 6 or 1 week, something like that. Dito 4 days ko dito sa grade 5, dalhin na po dahin ko sa grade 4, di ba? So that we can apply the professional knowledge and experience to promote students' learning. Then teachers use appropriate pedagogy or the methods of teaching, assessment and evaluation. What do you mean by assessment and evaluation? The test, di ba? Tagaan mo test ang bata for you to know kung nakasabot ba siya sa lesson nga imuhang gitudlo. What if most of your students or your learners got 0? What will you do? So, you have to ask yourself, sige, kulang mo na ako sa akong pagtudlo. Ngano wala may nasabtan ang mga bata, ngano na 0 man sila. So, you have to assess yourself also. So, that is very important to have the assessment and the evaluation so that we will know how far have we gone in our teaching. Ay, ako pa ning i-improve. Magamit pa ko. I will use other teaching strategies and methods in order to improve my teaching. Muna siya ang appropriate pedagogy and assessment and evaluation. Resources and technology in planning for and responding to the needs of the individual students and learning community. So we have to respond. We as teachers, we must be responsive to the needs of the individual students and learning communities. Next is teachers refines their professional practice through ongoing inquiry, dialogue, and reflection. So mo na siya, as what I have told you a while ago, kung ulahi mo nga teacher, bag-ura ka nga teacher, you are a new teacher, newly assigned teacher, and there daghan kag mga teachers dito nga daan na karaan ng mga teacher. So unsa tong dapat buhaton? Mangutana ka sa ilaha. Mangutana ka, ongoing inquiry, dialogue, and reflection. Diba? Mangutana ka sila, mag-inquire ka. Unsa may dapat na buhaton ani ma'am, o diba? Kundi you have to read books, diba? Mag-reflect dahil ka, mo din ang dapat na buhaton. So, you cannot teach if you do not have, diba? If you do not know. There's a saying that goes, you cannot teach if you do not know. How can you give if you do not have? So, dapat teachers must refines their professional practice through ongoing inquiry, dialogue, and reflection. Diba? Pag-reflect taon sa mga dapat na kubuhaton. Ani mag-estudyuhan nimo ba? Kaya napalpak mo ko sa first day of classes na ako, daghan man ng zero, na saba pagid kay sila. So what shall I do with this kind of attitude sa mga bata? So, manghiring-hiring ka, mangutana ka sa uban nimo nga mga teachers sa karaan na, dayon, ano po ka, maningkamot po ang research kung sa dapat nimo. So, ay, dili dai ko nasipyat sa akong classroom management. O dapat unsa ang manato. Maay ka mo tudlo, pero porta po sa classroom management. So, before giving your instruction, before going to your proper lesson, you have to set your standard. Okay, you have to ask the students, what will you do, students, if I am here in front of you teaching? And some of the students will answer, we have to listen, ma'am. Okay, you have to write down all the answers of your students, right? Listen, ma'am, we will raise our hands if we want to answer. Tanang ilang i-answer diha, imo na silang isulat sa board, and then you let them read. Pabasa nimo to sa ilaha. Explain to them. So, these are now the standards that you ought to follow while I am here in front of you teaching you. Is that understood? Oh. You will ask them, is that understood? And they will also answer, yes, ma'am. So like that, you are setting your standard. So that during the time that you are having your lesson, all of them are listening because you have set your standards. Ano kay pamalaod ni imong gipasunod sa ilaha, di ba? Okay, ongoing professional learning. Teachers recognize that commitment to ongoing professional learning is integral to effective practice and to student learning. So professional practice and self-directed learning are informed by experience, research, and collaboration. So muna akong sulti kanina, di ba? So professional practice and self-directed learning are informed by experience. Kung na-experience din mo na, because we can learn from our own experiences. Research, you have to research. Conduct research on this. So this is a very big problem to me. So I should conduct research in order for me to solve this existing problem that I am facing. Or you have to read the researchers of other researchers rather. Magbasa ka sa mga research sa uban and you can learn, di ba? Hey, you do not know that pari-parihan na yung problema nga dapat sulbaron. So, makabasa ka sa ilang mga researches, so makita nyo, ay, may aramalay ang kasulbaran. Ana, di ba? And collaborate with each other. Magkinabangay mo. Because no man is an island. Dili ka pwede nga ikaw ra magsulbad sa mga kaugalingon problema. Di ba? May mo na siyang ongoing professional learning. So you can learn from, I can learn from you and you can also learn from me. Nana ba? There is a collaboration. Mag-collaborate. And then the ethical standards for the teaching profession. Here, what are the ethical standards of care includes compassion, acceptance, interest, and insight for developing students' potential. Teachers express their commitment to students' well-being and learning through positive influence, professional judgment, and empathy in practice. So, care, from the word care alone. Diba? The ethical standard of care include compassion. Na kay compassion sa imong mga kabataan, sa imong mga estudyante. Acceptance. Whatever behavior your students have, you have to accept and teach them. Hinay-hinay lang. Kaya di man na nimo ma-abrupt. So, dili man kay gid ni acceptable nga kinaiya ba? What will you do if you have that kind of students na murag dili gid acceptable ang iyang attitude? So, dapat hinay-hinayon na nimo. Dili nimo biglaon mo. Dili ko gustuhan nga maging ani ka, something like that. So, mura nagbalaod ang imuhang sinultian nga. Kuan kayo ka, stricto sa kayo ka. So, you have to there is an acceptance. Maka-accept ka, hinay-hinay imo dayong mapasabot sa iya. And then, gradually, the attitude of that particular students will also improve, di ba? Interest and insight. Oh. interest, and insight for developing students' potential. So, teachers play a very big role nga sa atong mga kabataan. Dako kaayo taong influensya para sa atong mga kabataan. Makita kanila. Don't you know that there are some learners, mga batang gagmay, tuluan nga na silang mama? No! Dili na siya maumami mo, nang gitulo sa among teacher. Si teacher naging ana. So, di ba? Tuhuan pa nila usahay ang ilahang teacher kaysa ilahang mama. No? Uy, yung ni teacher mo, doon na correct na answer. Nak, nasagit ka siguro inyong teacher ani na kay wrong man ni ang spelling. Ang correct na spelling ani nak ani. So tuduan nimo hinay-hinay ang bata. Ayo pud ina nganong di ka man hinon mo to sa ko. Nganong sa imo naman kang teacher mo to. Diba maglibog ang bata ana. So dapat lang na kay compassion, na kay acceptance, na kay interest, na kay insight for developing students potential. Na kay panlantaw, mga insights nimo, ug na kay interest nga ma-develop ang students' potential. Dili nga puro na lang panginsulto ang imong ihatag sa ilaha. Di ba? Teachers express their commitment to students' well-being and learning through positive influence. Take note of that word, positive influence. Dapat positibo, dili negatibo ha. Ay kay sobrang na pud kay usahay, di ba? Kana bang instead nga imong ayuhon, imo naman mga saba naman hinuon ka. So, what will happen sa bata? Ma-discourage siya. So, for all you know, grabe po dahil ka-downhearted ang bata. Kay inani silang panimalay. Ginabunalan siya kanunay siyang iyang mama o papa na alay gamay sa'yo. Pusi. May pag-abot sa bala, pag-abot sa eskulahan. O lagi hapon nagabuhapon sa maestra. Labayon ta kang chokaron. Di ka pamilya. Abot sa school, kasamaan ng gihapon ko. So, turn out ang bata nga, dili siya maging malipayon. So, dili siya, man, being and students' well-being and learning through positive influence nga, ma-influence nimo ang bata positively. Professional judgment and empathy in practice. So, yung mga professional judgment, dapat man acceptable as a teacher. Ug naa kay empathy, di ba? If you will put your shoes to their shoes, unsa man pagka ang imong nation. So naagid kay love sa ilaha, naa kay unsay tawag ani gugma, naa kay kaluoy sa imong mga kabataan because you want them to learn. That is the ethical standards for teaching profession. And next is not only care but respect. Intrinsic to the ethical standard of respect are trust and fair-mindedness. They honor human dignity. Oh? Take note of that. They honor human dignity, emotional wellness, and cognitive development. So, in their professional practice, they model respect for spiritual and cultural values, social justice, confidentiality, freedom, democracy, and environment. That is why when I teach, I always inculcate the word of God sa ako ang mga makaagi sa ako ng mga estudyante. I always inculcate the word of God because I know that is really very important. Not only to honor human dignity, atong dignidad, i-honor jud nato whatever unsa man sila o kinsa man sila, unsa dapat nato buhaton, we have to honor them. Emotional wellness and cognitive development, di ba? Na may usahay nga sa cognitive development hina ang bata. Dili kaayo siya paspas bitaw ka na ang iyahang cognitive development is slow. Kay brain man na siya. Sa ato man ang cognitive is brain man, no? So in their professional practice, they model respect for spiritual and cultural values and social justice. Confidentiality, kung nagi mga secrets, dili na nimo i-reveal, kay sekreto man siya para irespeto po nimo ang unsaman kanang katungod sa imong isig kaingon freedom, democracy, and environment. So that is intrinsic to the ethical standard of respect and trust. So dapat kung naa kay respeto, naapod kay trust. you cannot be trusted if you are not respected. So dapat fair-mindedness yun is very important. Fair lang yun. Do not play favoritism. Honor human dignity and emotional uh, wellness as a teacher. So sa trust, the ethical standards of trust embodies fairness, openness, and honesty. Teachers' relationship with students, colleagues, parents, guardians, and the public are based on trust, di ba? So, dapat importante yun ang pagsalig or trust sa atong isig kaingon. Kaya nga naman, especially to our the teacher's relationship with his or her students, his colleagues, di ba? Na may iban nga, kanang dili po bitaw i-honor unsay dapat i-honor sa iyang isig kaingon. Sahay kanang ano ginahimuan pa ka usay istorya nga di pud kaganahan, di ba? Kanang dili fair, dili honest. So, if you have the trust, the ethical standard of trust is embodies fairness, fair ka, dili ka judgmental, openness, maka-open ka. Nagi, dili maka-prank ka bitaw. There are times manggod na dapat jud ka mag-open kung sa nasa imong huna-huna o kasing-kasing. O honest pud ka sa imong pag-open. Dili kay makaprovoke kahinuon sa kagubot sa uban, di ba? Teachers' relationship with students, colleagues, and parents, guardians, and the public are based on trust. So, pagsalig yun, naagi kay trust. Build trust. And then, what will happen if the trust will be destroyed? Mawala ang trust sa imo, madaot. Tungod kay dili ka kasaligan. So, luoy ka, a teacher. Kung na imong attitude. Diba? Integrity, honesty, reliability, and moral actions are embodied in the ethical standard of integrity. So these are ethical standards for teaching profession na dapat you can be trusted and your integrity also, di ba? Kana honest ka, reliable ka, and moral in actions are embodied in the ethical standards of integrity. Continual reflection assists teachers in exercising integrity in their professional commitment and responsibilities. So, naagid kay dungog integrity in our professional commitment and responsibilities. Dili ta magiging absinot, dili kay ma'am, wala na po si ma'am, yehe, permanente lang wala. Ya, pag abot tayo sa ihang form 48, yang gingon nga, kuan siya, nara siya, nag-eskwela siya, nagtudlo siya, pero dahil wala. No? Inana, something like that. So the purposes, to inspire teachers to reflect and uphold the honor and dignity of the teaching profession. Muna siya ang purpose, isang purpose, to inspire teachers to reflect. So, you as future teachers, you should reflect and uphold the honor and dignity of the teaching profession. Ayaw pakaulawi ang imong profession. Kaya nga no, dignified ka. You are dignified if you are one of the teachers. If your profession is teaching, you are dignified. As what I have told you a while ago, na bisag asa ta padulong, naagi mo good morning, naagi mo good afternoon sa ato, di ba? Good morning sir, good morning ma'am. Labi nang maka-uniform na ta sa atong uniform sa teaching, teacher, good morning mo, good afternoon gyud ang mga tao sa ato, respetado ta, di ba? We have that honor and dignity of the teaching profession. Number 2 is to identify the ethical responsibilities and commitments in the teaching profession. So, i-identify nato ang mga ethical responsibilities. What are the ethical responsibilities of and commitment of the teaching profession? Ano man? Ethical responsibilities. You must be honest, di ba? Trustworthy, something like that, to guide ethical decisions and actions in the teaching profession. To guide ethical decisions and actions the teaching profession. Uy! Saman to? To promote public trust and confidence in the teaching profession. To promote public trust, di ba? So, dapat, that is very important that naagyoy public trust ang mga katawhan sa ato and confidence in the teaching profession. At teacher man na siya ma'am, masaligan gina ma'am. Di kita magproblema anak bisag sira isa diri. Mutudlo gina siya. Kaya nga naman, she or he can be trusted. Na teachers as professionals, sumanamanod. Money, commitment of students to student learning. Commitment of students and students learning. Teachers are dedicated in their care and commitment to students. They treat students equitably humani. Mana no leadership in humana pud ni siya. Are you still there? Are you still listening?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Banak. So, professional practice. At we are done with this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Teachers recognize that commitment to ongoing professional learning is integral to effective practice and student learning. Humanat anak. Murag hapit na galing tamahuman mga anak. Pilan lang ni ka-slides. The ethical standards for teaching profession, anatani, humanatani, the ethical standards of trust embodies fairness, openness, and honesty. Teachers' relationship with students, colleagues, parents, o manatan ha. The purposes. Kung sa man ang purpose ani? To inspire teachers to reflect and uphold the honor and dignity of teaching profession. Do you love teaching, mga anak, mga students? Do you love teaching?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that really your choice to become a teacher?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Congratulations in advance. Diba? To inspire teachers to reflect and uphold the honor and dignity of teaching profession.
I love children.
And to identify the ethical responsibilities and commitment in the teaching profession. To guide ethical decisions and actions in the teaching profession. To guide ethical decisions. So, in every decisions that we will be making and actions that we will be making in the teaching profession, we must be guided because there are ethical standards to be followed. Then to promote public trust and confidence in teaching profession. So ako na nag-insulti ganina. Public trust is really very important. Kaya lisod na kayo kung mawala na nga trust nila sa imuha, di ba? Ang public, mawad-an og respeto sa atua. So dako kaya na siya nga problema. Kaya nga, lisod na kayo bawion. Manang ginaingon, ang tanan nimo nga maayo nga binuhatan, all your good deeds will be forgotten kung naalay isa nga sala nga imong nabuhat. Do you agree with that? Agree ba mo anak? Oo, di ba? So, isa-isa ra kung nabuhat na sala, nya daghan ka itong nahimo nga maayo, magpabilin gyud, malimtan gyud nila ang kaayo nga imong nabuhat kaya ilang mahuna-hunaan ang imong gindautan nga gibuhat, di ba? So, you must be very careful in that. You are future teachers and naagi public trust, di ba sa ato ang public nga trust gid sa ato wearing the uniform of the teacher is something gyud nga tan-awon gyud na nila ginarespetuhan gid na sa mga katawhan. Murag last naman siguro na ako na QR, wala na ko slides na tanaw sa ni nak video ipan sa QR Jol. Yeah. Last naman siguro ni. Tanaw sa ning slides na ko balong be. Kadyo lang kay na. Kay sunod dito na ko sa kuan magklase. 17 na akong slides na kanawa sa. 17 ang last. Okay. Okay. So this is the last slides that I prepared, the purposes. So To inspire teachers to reflect and uphold the honor and dignity of the teaching profession, to identify the ethical responsibilities and commitment in the teaching profession, to guide ethical decisions and actions in the learning profession, and to promote public trust. To promote public trust and confidence in the learning profession. So that is my last slides. Other questions? Abang mo yung mga pangupanan, abang mo yung sabtan regarding teaching profession. Bili ka na to sa una, sa pagsugod jud here. The nature of teaching. Teaching is a process that facilitates learning. So, if I will be asking you a question, blank is the process that facilitates learning. Your answer will be? What will be your answer? Teaching. Okay. Teaching is the process that facilitates learning. Magawas ra ba gina siya sa exam. Teaching is the specialized application of knowledge, skills, and attributes to design to provide unique service to meet the educational needs of the individual and society. So, specialized application of knowledge is and skills is teaching, right? Okay. So, hindi ko na nato siya. Sa pagganitong kaduha, darita. Teaching is a process to facilitate learning. Okay, I told you a while ago that teaching is a process that facilitates learning. When we talk of facilitates learning, it involves teaching students to think critically and understand how the learning process works. Okay, so I have discussed to you a while ago that teaching is a process that facilitates learning. So facilitates learning involves teaching students to think critically and understand how the learning process works. Mo na siya, ang buti pa sabot sa teaching is a process that facilitates learning. So when we talk of facilitates learning, it involves teaching students to think critically. What do we mean when we say to think critically? Unsa man na siya? What does it mean by thinking critically? How I understand how the learning process works. Students need to learn how to go beyond the basic facts. So dili lang kung unsay gitudlo sa maestra nga diha nakataman. You have to go further to the basic facts. What, where, and when, and question gid ka how, why, when. So questions the world around you. You have to be critical sa imong mga panghuna-huna. Dili lang ka pag-ingon nga teaching is a process that facilitates learning, da na lang kataman. Diba? When we talk of process to facilitates learning, the students need to learn how to go beyond the basic facts. Teaching is the specialized application of knowledge and skill. So since it is a specialized application of skills, the teacher's role becomes, as what I have said, I told you a while ago, that we will not only serve as teachers, but we are only facilitators and organizers of knowledge, providing resources and support the learners. Sila na gyud. As of now, gone are those days, the what we call the traditional way of teaching, talk and chalk, di ba? Something like that. Ang maestra, sige lang nga, sige lang explain, without the interaction from the students. And the result, menos ra gyud ang learning. So kinahanglan, you have to encourage your students to think critically. Nga mag-question gyud sila. Understand how the learning process works. Students need to learn how to go beyond the basic facts, to ask who, what, where, and when, and whatever questions they wanted to question. Dili nga pag ipa-memorize ang facts sa imo, mo na siya dara kataman. So, what is the process that facilitates learning? Unsa man ang mga process that facilitates learning? Facilitated learning is where the students are encouraged to take more control of their learning process. Kamu ang mag-control sa inyong learning process. The trainer's role promotes that. No, kung iyong magani as facilitators ang teachers, kami among role is only to facilitate kita. Kuhon, kamo nga mga teachers will only facilitate and organize learning. Organize. You have to provide resources and support to your learners. Teaching is the specialized application of knowledge students in their social relationship. So, what are the knowledge and skills and attributes in teaching? Unsa man na siya? Skills needed for teaching. What are the skills that you need for teaching? Number one is to enjoy communicating your understanding to others. Diba? You have to enjoy communicating. Kay skills man na siya needed for teaching. Enjoy communicating your understanding to others. So you have to explain to them what is the essence of this. For example, terminology teaching is a specialized application. So, nabot pa sa anak classmate. Unsa man na siya, something like that. So, there will be an interaction. So, maka-learn ka sa iya, sa imong classmate, maka-learn po imong classmate sa imong ha. Unsa man ang mga skills needed for teaching. So, enjoy. You have to possess good communication. Communication skills. Enjoy communicating your understanding to others. Have confidence. Naagi tayo confidence sa atong self when we teach, di ba? Kaya kung mahadlok gani ka matubang sa mga estudyante, what will happen? Matranda ka, di ba? So, have confidence in yourself when you teach. Have great organized skills. So, na-organized name, organization of skills. Work effectively in groups. So, you have to work in groups. That is why in my class, I have to have that brainstorming o grouping sa mga estudyante and then brainstorming. That is constructivist way of learning. Imo silang gina-construct sa ilang kaugalingon nga knowledge through reflection. Other times that I am giving a quotation, I will give a quotation and I will tell them, reflect on this. Or reflect and write it in one full sheet of paper, your reflection. So that is already what we call a critical. You are developing to them the critical thinking kay maghuna-una man gid sila. Magbuak man sa atong ulo ani kung saon nato ni, di ba? So inana siya and then eventually maka-learn lagi na ang imuhang mga estudyante. Kaya imo man ginatudloan sila. Work effectively in groups. So, have confidence, have great organizational skills, work effectively in groups. So, those are the skills needed for teaching. Number one, I will repeat the skills needed for teaching. Enjoy communicating your understanding to others, or let us just say good communicate. You have to develop also your good communication skills. Have confidence. That is another skills that you have to develop. The confidence in you. Have great organizational skills. Work effectively in groups. Kaya naman, you can learn if you are in the group. Dili ka mag-inusara ka because no man is an island. So be in group so that you can work effectively with them. Maka-adjust ka socially, di ba? Ka-develop sa nang imuhang social life. Motivate your students to do their best. So you have to as teacher, you have to motivate. Kaya learning man is a process that facilitates learning. So you have to motivate your students to do their best. How could we motivate our students to do their best? So encourage them. Oh, very good. You've done a great job. Continue or maintain something like that, no? Imo silang i-encourage kanunay. Then empathize with your students. So mo to kung yung na empathize, be that have the heart, you know, to understand your students. Kay mag-anak ka, unsa ka ano ako naa sa iyang sapatos, something like that. Unsa ka akong gabation sad. So do not think of yourself only. Namo gud ta usahay kay there are times that human as we are so selfish. We are only thinking of ourselves without thinking the others. At rin yung ginhaw na ako ra kanunay, selfish bitaw ta. So as teachers, dapat dili tayo anak. Motivate your students to do their best, empathize with your students, give feedback. So, oy, what happened to you, Mario? Why is it that out of 50 items, you only got 20? Doon di mo siyang tawagan. Ayaw siya pakaulawi nga imong i-announce sa kwan ha, sa kadaghanan. Mario, come here. Mario, what is your problem? Why is it that out of 50 items, you only got 20 or 15? Correct answers. Why? What's your problem? Something like that. So, try to communicate with them nicely. Empathize with your students. Give feedback. So, tagaan mo siya feedback ngayon, anak, para ma-aware siya. Kaya it might be nga siya, opera dito si ma'am nga akong nakuha nga akong score. Kuanda di ay 15 points nga out of 50. So, you have to give nice feedback. Take note of that. Nice or positive feedback. Ayaw paghatag og feedback na negative or makapangonsulto ka ha, please. So, give positive feedback. And then, next to that is, wala na din na sa teaching is the specialized application of knowledge. Anak to kaganina akong diano dere. Teaching emphasizes the development of values and guides students in their social relationship. The nature of teaching. One of the nature of teaching is teaching emphasizes the development of values and guides students in their social relationship, di ba? Teaching emphasizes the development. Okay, so here in teaching emphasizes the development of values as what I have discussed a while ago. The teaching values to students. What is the importance in teaching values to students? Kaya ingon man dire, teaching emphasizes the development of values and guides students in their social relationship. What is now the importance of teaching values to students? Okay, the core of teaching consists of 4 basic values. Upat ka values yun. 4 basic values. Number 1 is dignity. Dignity. Number 2 is truthfulness. Number 3 is fairness. And number 4 is responsibility and freedom. The importance of teaching values to children is that it helps them to choose the right way. So, ano daw? The importance of teaching values to children is that it helps them to choose the right way. Kung naa sila sa crooked way, kung nasayop sila, nadigyas manggaling ang mga students, kung nagtudlo kag values sa ilaha, what will happen? It helps them to choose the right path or the right way. Moral values give a child the right direction. So the moral values that we are teaching to our students will help our students to become what? Moral values that we are teaching to our children or our students, we are giving them or we are teaching them the right direction. The direction or the path, the way, for example, where to go, which help them to achieve their academic goals. So if you will So it is really very important that teaching emphasizes the development of values and guide students in their social relationship, because it will help the children to choose the right way or the right direction. Moral values give the child the right direction, which helps them to achieve the academic goals, or it's help our children or our students to reach the goal of success. Great teacher says the ability of building strong character students. Great teachers, ang great teachers, ang ayo nga teachers, ang kinakusgan nga teachers, possess the ability, not the abilidad, they have their ability of build strong character in their students. And that is really very important for a teacher to possess, no? Because great teachers, according to the possess the ability of building a strong character in their students. Diba? And next is ako na lang ni siya balik ha, to wait ay to ano. So kabalo na ta important sa teaching values to children to help them to choose the right way or the right path, and moral values give the child the right directions, which help them to achieve their academic goals in life. So as it states here, great teachers possess the ability of a strong character in their students. Strong character, meaning to si dili matarong sa insakto mo din na siya dinha. Ano man, they are taught with moral values, so that will serve as their direction or the right path for them to tread. Next is here, what is a profession? As I have said a while ago, a profession is an occupation that involves specialized training and formal qualification. So, when we talk of profession, it is a paid occupation, diba? Occupation siya, one that involves prolonged training and formal qualification. So, it's a profession. It's a career. It's an occupation. When we talk of profession, it is a career. It is an occupation. It is a calling. If you are a teacher, it is more on a mission. Calling, it is a vocation, line of work, line of employment. It's a job or position. That's what we mean of a profession. So profession is an occupation that involves specialized training and formal qualification. So what a teacher's what is a teacher professional? It means that you should not only conduct your work in the effective manner, but work to improve their skills, collaborate with colleagues and parents, and think relatively about the challenges they face. But if we expect teachers and school leaders to behave as professionals, we should treat them as such. Diba? What are the preparation you made to become a professional teacher? What are the preparation that you should make to become a professional teacher? Unsa man na siya, wala na ako nag-get sa slides, but you just listen kay hapit naman sa daang time. The bottom line are, you have to complete your bachelor's degree. Right? You have to finish really your studies, complete student teaching, di ba? Since you are having now your student teaching, and then exam required by the government. You have to pass the exam. What does this mean to think of teachers as professionals? Unsa man gid kuno ang professional nga teachers? Most people spend a significant amount of their lives inside the school to be professionals, right? So, but being a professional encompasses much more of being good at work. So, professional gani kuno ta, kung gawin ni nga professional, we are good at work. Ayos ang trabaho. Sorta sa aton na work people whose actions and decisions are grounded in a specialized set of knowledge and skills, stemming from both quality training and constant collaboration and dialogue with and other stakeholders. So that is really very important that we have to have constant collaboration with our colleagues, our peers, and their stakeholders. Society and community place a great deal of trust in professionals. So, other questions? Mga question? Announce na ako this episode. Wala na. So, anak, kung saan na oras maanak?
Wala ma'am. It's 2 p.m. flat.
Okay. Yeah. Wala na may pagtana. So, di isa na mag-test sa sunod lang ang meeting. Okay ra?
Yes, ma'am. Nang ma'am, pwede mo ayos sa mga PowerPoint, ma'am.
Kung yan, so aman ako ipag-send. Ako lang ipasend sa akong anak ha.
Yes, ma'am. Pwede
Sige.
ma'am.
Ay, okay. Naama ka Sir Eric ni, di ba? Ako, siya man nang present na. Ako naman nang gapuan diri. TR, saan na sa akong katulog siguro siya pang. Tawag ako anak teacher, magpunin niya. Ako rin tawag madaog-daog og tawag kay di man kayo maayo ang mga sa dahil ni mga tilang mga anak no di man na para sa inyo nga kuan kay mo sa expert kay mo sa computer. Pero okay na ni silang kay ako lang ni aman ako i-send ang akong PowerPoint.
Pwede na po, Eric, ma'am.
Ay naman kay Sir Edna nag-happy mag-group ani. Diyan.
Yan na lang.
Ayun mo ha. Okay na? Okay na?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. God bless you. Bye. Bye. Bye.